So I'm creating a short tutorial on how to install Freenas with a single hard drive and how to use that hard drive to share your data partitions. So first I'll create a VM with a small 4 GB drive since it will be faster to format that we'll use for the Freenas installation and also to share the data. So I'll install the operating system later. Click on next, select FreeBSD. Change this to 64-bit if you're using the 64-bit ISO. But we're using the x86 ISO, so I'll leave it at FreeBSD. Click on next, give it a name. I'll name this machine Freenas. Okay, it already exists, so I'll create another one, Freenas test. Click on next. Number of processors, you can leave it at 1. I'll just give it 2 cores. Give it around 512 memory in my test. Use bridge networking so I can have a separate IP address for my Freenas test box. LSI logic recommended, I'll leave it as default. We'll create a new virtual disk. ID recommended. We'll give this a default of 4 gigs and allocate all disk space now. Click on next. Freenas test.vmdk. So we'll select the defaults and click on next. Customize hardware. So here we'll go and change the optical drive to use the ISO image that we downloaded from Freenas. Select the live CD. Connected power on should be checked on so it can boot from the live CD for the initial installation. Click on OK. Finish. Let it create the virtual disk. We'll get back here once the virtual disk is created. Alright, it's almost complete. Okay, now I'll power on the virtual machine. That's Freenas, the live CD booting from the ISO image. Right, I'll select the default boot, that is 1. Alright, so we'll select number 9, install, upgrade to hard drive, flash device, etc. So we'll select 9 here. Install full OS on hard drive with the data partition for our shares and the swap partition. So we'll select number 3, hit OK. So what this will do is it'll create a master boot record partition 1 using UFS for the OS and another MBR for the UFS for data and the third partition for the swap. So we'll select the default options, click on OK. CD DVD drive is our virtual ISO drive, so we'll select that OK. This is our only hard drive, which is the 4 gig virtual drive I had created earlier, so we'll select that and hit OK. We'll leave this at 380 MB for the default OS. Do you want to add a swap partition? We'll select yes. Leave it at 319 megs on default, hit OK. It's creating all the partitions now. So if you look at this, it says to use the data partition, we need to add the disk AD0 on the disk management page, add the mount point on the disk mount point management page, use the following parameters: disk AD0 partition to partition type MBR file system UFS. So that's what we'll select. We'll press enter to continue. And exit from the installer menu. We'll set a LAN IP interface. Select number 1, assign interface. This is our virtual NIC. So I'll select that. Since I don't have any other NICs, I'll finish and exit configuration. Yes. We'll set the IP address on the interface. So select 2. Do you want to use DHCP? No. I'll select any IP. You can choose whatever IP you like. I'll just select this. It's easy to remember. Go with that. I'm using a 24-bit mask, so I'll select the default. IP address default gateway is the internal IP of your router, and it's the same IP for your DNS also. Do you want to add IPv6? We'll select no, since I don't have IPv6 configured at this point. Okay, you can now access the web GUI using the following URL. So I will do this. I'll shut down so I can remove the live CD. I'll select option 8 and shut down the system. Now I'll go to edit virtual machine settings. I'll remove the ISO image, select use physical drive, uncheck connected power on since I don't have anything in the drive that I want to use for this installation. Hit OK. Power on the virtual machine. Let it boot with default options. Alright, so now it says my IPv address is .250, it did not save it, so I'll go ahead and set the interface. That's my only interface. It's done. Set the IP. I selected DHCP by mistake. We'll go back and set a static IP. We'll press enter, continue. Now the system is available at, the web GUI is available at 192.168.1.192. So we'll open up a browser. Default username is admin, password is Freenas. Make sure the time is correct, so we'll go to this general option under system tab. We'll select GMT minus 6 for central time, select today's date, hit save. So now we'll assign the disk. Under disk management, click on add, select the virtual drive. Will give a little description: VMware virtual HDD. Transfer mode auto, hard disk will leave everything at default. Pre-formatted file system will select UFS. Click on add, apply changes. It's online right now. We'll go to disk, mount point, click on add, select the drive. Partition type will select MBR partition, partition number 2, and file system is UFS. We'll leave it as default. Give it a mount point name, so we'll give it home share, mount as my mount space name. Description: Freenas only drive home share mount. I'll leave the permissions with default. You can change it later if you want to play with restrictions and stuff, but I'll leave this at the default values. Click on add, click on apply changes. Okay, now the status is okay, it's available. Now I'll create a CIFS service. So we'll go to CIFS SMB Samba menu, and we'll click on this little checkbox to enable it. We'll leave the authentication at anonymous right now. NetBIOS name will leave at the default. Make sure your workgroup name matches the workgroup name of your Windows clients. Description, you can leave it as default. I'll leave everything else as default and click on save and restart. Alright, now I'll go to shares. We'll add a share. That's the data partition on the Freenas installation hard drive, which also includes the data partition. So clear on that. Give it a name: home share my Freenas share. Select the path, so we'll select the mount point over here. Click on OK. Click on add. So it says browsable, yes. We'll click on apply changes. Alright, now we'll see if we can access our share. So I'll go to whack 192.168.1.192. Alright, so my home share has shown up over here. I can create some folders. Test folder. I can make sure I can delete it. Alright, that concludes the tutorial on how to install Freenas on one hard drive and also use that drive for your data storage.